Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Markus, and I'm going to speak to you a bit about how we can grow in our careers by using mentors. Ask yourself, how do you want your career to grow? Do you know? Maybe you want to present at a conference, you share what you've learned. Maybe you want to improve your reputation at your company. Maybe you want to become an architect. Maybe you want financial independence. Maybe you want to start your own company. Or maybe you want to contribute in an open source project. So I wanted some of these things myself, but I didn't know where to start or even what to do. We can do a lot on our own, but the road to success is much easier if you take the help of a mentor. So I have personally experienced the impact of having a mentor, and I would like to share my story with you on what I learned on the way. I could not fit everything I wanted to say to you today into this presentation. So if you stick with me to the end, I'll give you a link to an ebook where you can download lots more information about this. So, what is this about? Yes, then. Picture this. You're a professional software developer. You've been working for maybe 10, 15, 20 years. But the last years, you're starting to feeling stuck. Like, is this the end of my career? Can I get any further? How can I improve my career? You might have tried the manager track, but didn't really want to go that way. You enjoy learning. You went to conferences like this one because all of you are here. But you still feel stuck. It's like, is there no way forward? All this new technology is very overwhelming. And you have the feeling of, I cannot keep up. And you maybe start to feel like an imposter, to become a dinosaur, basically. Everybody is running away from me. I cannot keep up. And slowly but surely, the stress might be building. So this was me in the spring of 2021. I started actually feeling physical symptoms. I was very irritated. I started losing weight. I couldn't sleep. My hands started shaking, sometimes so badly I couldn't even type on the keyboard. My wife was really worried. She said, you have to go see a doctor. I didn't listen, like we don't normally do. It will go away by itself. It didn't. 2 months later, I got a really high fever that didn't want to go away. So finally, I went to see a doctor. They took lots of tests and sent me home. And the next day, they called, you have to go to the emergency room immediately. Some of your values are completely bad. I ended up being admitted in the hospital for 5 days. And it turned out I had an autoimmune disorder that could be triggered by stress. And the stress I was having wasn't in the work itself. It was me feeling stuck where I was. I got out of the hospital and I recovered physically in the coming months. But I was still feeling stuck in my career. And 1 year later, I found myself in Oracle Code 1, even more overwhelmed. All the new technology, Java 21, AI, yada yada. But I went to a session called Growing Beyond Senior by a guy named Bruno, who was wearing a big Brazilian cape. A Brazilian flag is a cape. You might know who it is. He was talking about mentors for senior developers. I did not even know that was a thing. Maybe you're in the same situation. So mentors are very common in many fields, but it's a bit secret in our field. So even the most successful people acknowledge the importance of having a mentor. So for instance, this guy, Newton, he's saying his groundbreaking discoveries are not solely his own, but built upon work that others did before him. So why should we as senior developers need a mentor? A few things. It's very easy to fall into a comfort zone. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to learn anything more. I can solve stuff myself. But the truly successful people in our line of business, they actually do realize the value of having mentors. They continue to grow and use that experience of others to build and produce new things. A mentor can also help us with this fear of failure. I will never present at a conference. What if I make a mistake? I will not try this thing. What if I fail? And also, I could look incompetent. I don't want to do that. But the mentorship is a two-way agreement. It's not a crutch. They will not do everything for us. We as mentees has to put in the work, but a mentor can actually help us get further faster by telling us, this is how I did, using their experience actually. And also, we can contribute to the community by paying forward what we've learned and in our turns become mentors for others. Blogs and YouTube videos are great, but they can only take you so far. I will not become a master chef by watching 10,000 hours of YouTube videos. And also, likely many of you already have mentors, but you might not even know it. There are two kinds of mentors. There's the formal one, and there's the informal one. So if you go back to the story where I was at the session in Code 1, that session resonated so much with me, so I ended up talking with this guy after the presentation, and he became my formal mentor. So I've been in his mentorship program for about a year now, and also all this stress of feeling, where am I going, what is going on, he helped me getting a focus so I can focus on what I was doing, and also feeling it's okay not to know everything. You cannot know everything. You shouldn't try to know everything. So this is a formal mentor, and you can find these at conferences. You can find them in your own company. Usually, almost all of us have formal mentorships when we start at a new place. It's called onboarding, but it's quite uncommon that you have mentors for more senior roles. So if you do have a staff engineer, for instance, it's a perfect person that could be a mentor for more senior people, but not as senior. So we should actually try and do these mentorships at our workplaces. There's also official websites where you can find mentors. The other kind is the informal mentor. And it's basically, are you following anybody on social media? Are you reading blogs? Are you doing anything? Are you being inspired by somebody who does something interesting? You can see these people as informal mentors. And these people we can get much more out of by engaging with them because they actually do want that. So if somebody is posting an interesting blog post, why not ask a question, engage with them, talk to them at conferences. They roam the hallways here, almost all of the big names. Just grab one and ask a question. They really do want that. But the informal mentorship is more like a friendship. You can't really go up to a complete stranger in town and say, hello, do you want to be my friend? They probably won't say yes. The same with these people, or the informal mentors. Build a relationship over time. Start engaging with them, say hi to on a conference, asking questions, and stuff like that. And both of these types of mentors have merits. It depends on your goals, your resources. And the informal is more flexible and can be very tailored to your needs, while the formal mentor is more of a specific goal, a structure, but like a program. So as an example of an informal mentor, this is a guy you also might have seen roaming in the halls here. This is one of my informal mentors. He might not even know it himself. But it's inspired me to work in a different way, to even dare present, for instance. And we have built our relationship over several years. And now I can proudly call him a friend. So we actually grew over the years. It's really, really cool. So what is my biggest takeaways from 1 year of mentoring then? The first one is growth mindset. So it's a belief and attitude that we can learn new things. There's not set what we are. If we want to change, we can change. So we should embrace challenges and persist through setbacks, as failure is like an opportunity to learn. We should also practice critical thinking. And very important, to teach others what we have learned ourselves. By doing that, we will actually learn more, because teaching is the best way to learn. And this requires dedication and self-awareness. But the mentor here, they can help you with this to hold you accountable and also to do your practice more deliberate. And you also get immediate feedback. Am I going in the right direction or not? And they can also use their practical knowledge to enhance the learning. And we should also seek opportunities to learn, to practice and acquire new skills. So try and stay updated what's going on, adapt and evolve. But this is a lifelong journey. It's not just completing one course, getting a certification. It's a mindset of growth and exploration. And a mentor can use their network to connect us with people that can teach us new things, best practices, and also push us outside our comfort zone. The final thing, we should always be open to meet and learn from new people. Everybody has something to teach, and we all have something to learn. So we should listen to understand, not to answer. So we think a bit before we answer. We should also be open to new ideas, perspectives, and feedback. Creating software involves lots of communication with people. It's not all about technology. It's called software for a reason. And these three things together will also make you a more coachable mentee. So you can then get maximum benefit from a mentorship. So actually be the best mentee your mentor has. And here you have the link of the book I promised at the beginning. But what I wanted to say is there is mentors for senior developers, both formal and informal. We should also try and find our focus, and we shouldn't try and do everything at once. Or by having a growth mindset and continuous learning, we can get most out of mentorship, but also life. And by being the best mentee our mentor has, coming prepared, doing stuff, being open to changing, we can get the most out of a mentorship. And also, like I said before, the mentor is not a crutch. You as a mentee has to want to change and has to put in the work. And finally, we should never compare ourselves to others because we don't know what they did to get where they are. Thank you. I have 2 minutes for questions, if there is any. Otherwise, it's... Yes?
How to find a mentor.
How to find a mentor.
Especially like a formal one, more concretely.
Yes, the question is how to find a mentor. Yeah, for me, I went to a conference, and I was lucky that this guy had a session about mentorship. There is people, if you search online, for instance, but I think several of the speakers here are formal mentors. It's a bit undercover. So it is always fine to ask people. If there is somebody you admire or feel like, oh, this person can teach me stuff of my specific problem. My problem was I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I couldn't really find a specific mentor for that. But this guy had as his focus was to help people get unstuck in their career, which was basically my problem. So there is mentors for all sorts of stuff. But if you want to be really good at Docker, for instance, there is people who are really good at that, and I'm sure there is several of them who are willing to mentor people. You can search on LinkedIn. There is these people with YouTube channels, for instance, depending on, do I want to be promoted, or do I want to learn more about the technology, or whatever. So, but send me your email. I'll check it for you. Thanks. No more. Thank you. Any keynote?